Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profits Show. You know what? You're doing the work. You're showing up. You're engaging. You're creating. You're burning the midnight oil, and yet your bank account still says, try again. You don't have a skill problem. You're really good at what you do. What you have is a system alignment and messaging problem. Hello there, Lens Legends, and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the real business challenges that professional photographers face. Things we face every single day. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side. And it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. You are in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her wonderful, amazing team are going to make you look like a hero. And it's just by default because Amanda hires fantastic people who love doing what they do. They are career people, not someone who's there minimum wage, do a fly by night. They're there today, they're gone tomorrow. Nope. The people that you see working there will be there the next time you go. Or, of course, if you order online, maybe you don't see them, but it's still the same people, and they are great people. They love doing what they do. That's why you look like a hero to your clients. If you haven't already, go to digitalprolab.com and see the difference that Digital Pro Lab can make. That's digitalprolab.com, digitalprolab.com. And for Landers Photography School, that's my company. I teach both the photography side and the business side. I've been teaching since, a long time. And in that time, I've written 250 plus different classes. So I probably have something that's going to help you out, unless you feel like you know it all. Well, I certainly don't, because you think, 250 classes, you must know it all. No, that's still scratching the surface from my point of view. There's just a lot to share on the photography. Lately, I've been spending a lot more time on the business side than I have on the photography side. And so if you're looking to move forward, to get better, to make photography your real career, then reach out to me. Let me put that on the screen. Go to my calendar. You see it on the screen right now, calendly.com/photoschool/15min. That takes you to my calendar so that you can find a time that works for you and we can talk. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. I don't charge anything for it. In fact, let me put that in the copy that, save that, leave that back up there. But I'm going to put that in the comments section. Speaking of the comments section, I want you to let me know you're watching live today. So enter in hashtag live to let me know that you're here on one of the places that we're simulcast to, which is we're on Facebook pages, we're on YouTube channels, we're on a LinkedIn page, we're on an Instagram page. So we're simulcast to several different places, and some of those I'll actually be able to see because they kind of accumulate on this software platform that I use for this show. So take advantage of that right now. All right, taking that off the screen. So hopefully you got that. I want to encourage you to make comments. I want to encourage you to ask questions throughout today's show. I want you to go to the comments right now, if you haven't already, and enter in hashtag live so I know you're watching us today. If you're not watching us today, well, then you're watching the replay, and then I want you to enter in hashtag replay. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show because that's how other people find out about us. So just click that share button and let other people know about the Portrait Profit Show. You're not doing the wrong thing. You are putting in your time. You're doing the things that say you're doing. You're moving forward. You're making things happen. You're doing the things they say to do. You're staying visible. You're engaging. You're creating. I mean, you're working harder than ever, but the results, they don't seem to be matching your effort. You're not lacking skill. You're good at what you do. Your clients love your work. So you either have no systems in place at all, or you're running on misaligned systems. And every hour you put into your work without fixing that structure is costing you. And not just financially, but your creative energy tank is running on empty. You need to put it over to the full side. This isn't sustainable. If you don't have it over there on the full side and it's over on the empty side, this isn't sustainable. Full stop. You're not in this situation because you're lazy. You put in huge amounts of effort. But I bet you're done with spinning your wheels. You know for certain that the effort you're putting in needs to start producing income, results, real results that you can be proud of. So this lesson today is about fixing that. Not with more tasks to do, not with more hustle, but with a pivot, a realignment using just 5 foundational parts of your business that you likely already have. We're going to reconnect those pieces: your mission, your vision, your value, your target market, and your compelling description, what I call your 5 workspace statements. And I call them that because I believe they need to be printed in your workspace where you can see them and be influenced by them every time you are working. And use those to reshape how you attract, communicate with, and sell to your ideal clients. And by the way, if you don't like that what I just said, selling to your ideal clients, you are a salesperson, whether you like it or not. You are. But if you have a negative connotation towards salespeople, there may be individuals who deserve that feeling. However, you're not one of those. Those are not an example of a good salesperson. You are. Sales is just simply helping someone else get what they want. Anything other than that is not doing it right. So are you doing it right? Are you helping people get what they want? Then you're a salesperson. Let's build together your portrait pivot plan. You ready to hear this? If so, tell me in the comments. Go over there and just write in the word ready, letting me know that you are ready to hear this. You need this. And just a reminder, if those of you who have been here before, but if you haven't, I have a handout for every single one of these lessons that I do every week. So if you want it, I do charge for it, but I do it in a way that makes it real easy. All you have to do, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, jim@portraitprofits.com. In fact, I should put that on the screen. I should. There we go. You can send an email there if you prefer email, or just in the comment section, enter in hashtag handout. Hashtag handout. And I will send you today's handout. Now, if you're asking for a different day, please be clear on which day you mean. Otherwise, I might not know. But hashtag handout, and I'll send it to you. And I'll send a link, a payment link. If you like the handout, use that payment link. If you don't use the handout. Don't use the payment link. Seriously, it's an honor thing. If you liked it, great, pay for it. If you don't like it, don't pay for it. Simple as that. Just send me an email or comment hashtag handout. Chapter 1. You're putting content out. And by content, I mean anything you're putting into the world for people to see that represents your business. That's both online and offline. So in context, a lot of times content does mean online, but I am saying it to mean anything you put out into the world that represents your business. So that's online and offline by the definition I'm using today. So that not only means your posts, your videos, your DMs, your website, it also means your prints, business cards, handwritten notes, and even the words you use during a sales phone call. If it carries your voice, your brand, or your creative work, it is your content. You're doing all of that. You're doing marketing, you're posting, you're getting likes, some engagement, maybe the occasional, I love your work, maybe from someone who's never actually hired you yet. But none of it seems to be turning into bookings, or at least not enough to be sustainable. So that's a marketing problem. You might call it funnel failure. It goes something like this: post, like, nothing. You share a beautifully composed image, maybe a heartfelt message. Maybe someone clicks on the heart button, which of course I like for you to do. And I can see some of you have already. Click that like button, click that love button each time you hear something you like. So maybe you get a comment and then nothing. The problem is that there's no bridge between curiosity and the next step that you want them to take. By the way, that's called call to action, or CTA. So therefore, if there is no bridge between curiosity and the next step that you want them to take, there's no momentum, there's no movement, there's no reason for your audience to take the next step. So let's fix that. Make sure to click that like button when you hear something you like. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching right now live. All right, you guys feeling this so far? Give me a yes in the comments. If you're feeling this, if you want to hear more, give me a yes in the comments. And as always, this lesson has a handout. Just send me an email at Jim@portraitprofits.com, Jim@portraitprofits.com, or enter in a comment that is hashtag handout. Hashtag handout. Chapter 2. Your ideal client likes your work. So you aren't necessarily being overlooked, ignored, or passed by. While that could happen, it's more likely that there's a disconnect based on two main things: them not understanding what your work can do for them, and the second, them not knowing what it is they're supposed to do next. Most photographers are offering their beautiful photographs when clients are looking for reasons. Maybe you're selling features when you should be selling transformation. Maybe you're leading with session fees and packaging details instead of impact and emotional value. You know the power of a portrait. But if your offer doesn't communicate that power clearly and confidently, you're losing business to photographers who are far less skilled than you. But they are not lost in a loop of misalignment like you are. So let's talk about the offer versus your price list. Unless you are the lowest price around, which in most situations you should not be. But unless you are the lowest price around, your offer isn't your prices or your price list. It's not the offer, the PDF that sometimes you might send that when someone asks, what do you charge? That's not the offer either. Your offer is the story you tell about the client's experience that you provide, the emotional outcome you deliver, the transformation your clients will feel. Your price list is nothing more than how you get paid to deliver that story. Too many are leading with it. The stronger the offer, the less you'll hear things like, I'll think about it and get back to you. And when you feel tempted to cave on your prices, understand that's a signal to let you know that you need to make the value of your experience clearer. When it's clear, you'll feel that pressure to give discounts much less often and much less powerful. Something I want you to do with your offer is to create a low barrier entry point. I want you to start with a yes, not a big yes, a small yes, but I want you to give your ideal clients a reason to take the first step towards working with you. Something easy, low risk, but high in perceived value. Something that opens a conversation, not just a transaction. Let me give you some examples. You've heard of these probably before, but if you haven't, something new. How about a free guide? Maybe 3 moments you'll wish you had captured before the kids leave home, or the 3-step method to prepare for a senior portrait session. Or how about how to talk to a photographer when you see the value but can't afford the price? How about a memory mapping session? I call it a design consultation. I'll talk about that here in a second. Maybe a phone call, a memory mapping session that's just a 20-minute phone call where you help a potential client, a prospect, visualize the story behind their next portrait. It's not a sales call, could turn into one. It's a guided exploration that I put in the category of design consultation. Now, I normally would do a design consultation in person, but sometimes doing it over the phone or during a Zoom call is the right next step. And it sets the foundation for everything that follows. Each of these examples is not just a freebie, because to you, they're a filter, a way to attract your ideal client and quietly disqualify the others without wasting time, without wasting energy. This is called magnetic marketing, when you purposefully attract the ideal and repel the rest. Our goal as a marketer and seller of photographic services is to attract qualified leads, not just anyone with a pulse. So we want to build offers with emotional value. You are not in the business of making images. You are in the business of meaning, of memory, of legacy. So why do so many photographer offers sound like a fast food menu? They've got the size, they've got the quantity, paper type, number of retouched images, price. None of that connects with what your client truly wants, which is to feel something. That is what your offer should reflect. Let's talk about how to do that. You want to speak to the outcome, not the parts, not the ingredients. You want to lead with transformation, not technical steps or specs. You want to highlight the meaning of the portrait, not the mechanics behind it. So instead of saying the session includes 10 fully edited images and 116 by 20 print, you might want to say, we'll create a portrait that helps your child feel proud of who they are, while at the same time gives you something to hold on to at that point in time when they're no longer walking through your front door every single day. Now that's an offer. Let me give you an action step. Maybe more than one. Here's the first. Review your current offer in each place that you have shared it. So that would be your website, your emails, your pricing guide, your social posts, wherever you've shared it. Review it. And then consider these 3 questions. Does it speak to emotion or just the deliverables? Is there a clear next step that's low risk but high value? And this next part, do this with your ideal client description nearby. If you don't have a description of your ideal client or target market, that could be a problem. But with your ideal client description nearby, would your ideal client feel understood and excited to take that next step? Well, if not, here's your sign. Start rewriting. We'll deal with pricing next. But for now, you need to make sure the offer is worth paying for. Okay, is this resonating with you guys? If so, go to the comments and just write in the word yes. Let me know that this is resonating, that this matters to you. Do you need help with any of these suggestions or other things about photography? My private coaching sessions can help you choose and implement the right tools for your business. And you can get started with a free 15-minute session. And you saw that link earlier, but I'll put it up on the screen one more time, just in case. So there it is, calendly.com/photoschool/15 minutes if you would like to talk about it. And of course, the handout, as always, is available. I'll send it to you simply by you sending me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, jim@portraitprofits.com, or just comment in the comment section, #handout, #handout. All right, let's move on to chapter 3. There it is. If you can't handle the truth, if it makes you uncomfortable, if you want everything in your microcosm, your little world, to be kind, gentle, sweet, you might want to click mute for the next few moments, because I'm going to be blunt. And maybe to some, not very nice, because the subject of price is serious. So let's get this out of the way right now. If your pricing is based on feeling, that's how it makes you feel, or what others are charging, if that's what your pricing is based on, guys, you're not building a business. You're playing a dangerous game of financial roulette. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Between 80 to 95% of all photographers never reach profitability. That means the odds are that if you're basing your numbers on what you see others doing, you are most likely copying someone who's on their way out. They just don't know it yet. Pricing by comparison is pricing for failure in this type of business. In other types of business, it is absolutely necessary to price based on what the other people in the market are charging. With photography, if that's what you're doing, you have misunderstood what's going on. Correct pricing should make your ideal life possible. Let me give you the core philosophy here. If your price list doesn't make your ideal life possible, well, then it's time for an adjustment. Here's a simple question. Are you living your ideal life because of your photography income? If yes, you are doing well. You've got this. If not, then pricing might be your red flag. Of those that do put some time into their pricing, too many set prices that maybe they cover the cost, but they don't create freedom. And even though they may be doing a better job of pricing than most, when those photographers do that, just price to cover costs, they are constantly stuck in the cycle of just enough to keep the doors open, just enough to keep the struggle strong, but not enough to thrive. For those that muted your speakers, I welcome you back. The rest of this chapter will be a touch kinder, although there will be notes of preacher along the way. We'll see. Let me know. You are a custom portrait artist. You are not a commodity. If you think you're selling session time with some image files, you're missing the whole point. No wonder clients think you charge too much. And that same philosophy only leads to your lack of confidence in what it is that you do. At the very least, you must understand who you are and what it is that you bring to the table. You're offering an experience that results in portraits with deep personal meaning, images that say things that last, photographs that carry emotional weight and connect your clients to what matters most: connection, identity, memory, pride, legacy, all delivered through portraits that will matter more as the years passed. In other words, it isn't a cost. By definition, it's an investment because the value increases over time. Your pricing should be reflecting that. Your sense of purpose should be reflecting that. But if your price list looks like a menu at a fast food drive-through, just listing all the things you have and then putting a price next to it. So 8 by 10, 145, session fee, 350, add-ons available. Then you're inviting people to compare you like they would any other commodity. And that's not who you are. Let's talk more about that. Custom work requires custom pricing. Think about it this way. When I teach a private class, would you expect it to cost more than if you just bought a seat in a group class? Of course. Why is that? Because I can sell a group session to multiple people, but I can only sell that private session to one. So I've got to charge an amount that ensures I don't lose money by having just one student. It's the same thing with your portraits. How many senior parents can you sell that one senior's portrait to? How many other families can you sell that family portrait to? A commodity can be sold to many. Therefore, what you sell is not a commodity. So stop treating it like one. You're not producing interchangeable content for mass consumption. You're crafting something personal, something singular. And when that's the case, your pricing must reflect more than just your time. It must account for the fact that there's no economy of scale. This product, this experience, can only be sold to one client. It's not just rare, it's one of a kind. That's the rarest of the rare. Your photography is a luxury. Start treating it like one because your success and your sanity, they depend on it. The mindset of your photography being a luxury and a custom product, it's not just a preference, it's math. Also consider that pricing is based on the value of the transformation, the depth of the experience, the emotional outcome of the portrait itself, and of course, your profit goals. I mean, are you interchangeable with any and every photographer in your area? No. So why would it even cross your mind that your pricing should look like theirs? So now that you're clear that you don't want your work to just cover your costs, you price it to reflect the emotional value, the custom nature, and most importantly, to support the life that you want to live. The real power of a photography business, especially one built around the type of custom, meaningful work that you want to produce, is that it can become the tool that funds your ideal life. Not a hustle, not a gamble, not a struggle that strangles the life out of your passion, but a vehicle for freedom, legacy, and sustainability. But that only becomes your reality if your mindset and your pricing makes it possible. You don't need 20 bookings at $100. You only have a certain number of hours that you can be creative, where your creative energy is at its best. Instead, what you need is one client at $2,000, served with excellence, presented with purpose, and delivered through a smooth, repeatable process. $2,000? That sounds like a lot. For what? A senior portrait session, a family portrait session, newborn, boudoir, or boudoir. That's not a lot. It's pretty average. My average is over 4,000. So you can do this. And if you need my help to get to that point, I mean, what am I here for? Reach out to me, jim@portraitprofits.com. I can help. Your price list is a sales tool. If your price list isn't guiding the conversation towards commitment, confidence, and excitement, it's not doing its job. It's not just a list of products and services with numbers. It's a part of your client's decision-making journey. So if your pricing feels vague, confusing, or if you sound unsure or maybe defensive when you're explaining it, you can be sure it feels even worse to your client. Clarity is not just helpful, it's one of the variables that builds trust. Trust is one of the major contributing factors to selling portrait photography. Let me give you an action step. Grab your current price list with everything. So your session fees, how much it costs for digital files, prints, framing, installation if you do that, albums, collections, a la carte options, everything. And then ask, does this pricing reflect the emotional value of the experience? Does it position me as a custom portrait artist? Does it position me as a custom portrait artist or an interchangeable vendor? And by far the most important, could I reach my ideal life with this pricing? If the answer is no, well, There's your sign. It's time to reevaluate and rebuild, not just for profit, but for purpose. Hey, if this is helping, I want you to tell me that. Go into the comments right now and you can write just "it's helping" or "this is great" or "thanks, Jim." Something along those lines, letting me know that what I'm saying is resonating with you. By the way, if you want the handout, comment #handout, #handout, or send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. Chapter 4 of 5. Your stories, your experience, your knowledge. These are marketing tools. You likely already have more than enough material. Yeah, I know a lot of you don't think you do because you're not thinking about all of it right now. But chances are you've got it and you're just not using it. Well, I mean, you've lived it. You have stories growing up. You have stories that people have told you over the years, some that clients have told you. You've served clients. You've made mistakes. You have figured things out, answered questions. You've created solutions. You've witnessed powerful moments and watched your work change and enhance lives, sometimes quietly, sometimes dramatically. All that stuff, that's your gold mine. That is your gold mine. If your marketing doesn't reflect any of that, if your marketing is just sneak peeks and now booking posts, you're leaving all of your most valuable marketing material on the table. And what's worse, with those kind of posts, you're not giving anyone any reason to trust you, to remember you, or even care about what it is that you do. People connect with stories. We remember stories. People buy because of the stories. If your marketing isn't using your voice, your insight, your lived experience, it's not effective marketing. It's just posting, praying, hoping. And that is not sustainable. So let's talk about turning your stories into content that converts. Your goal is to connect, to educate, to inspire action. So here's the good news. You already have what you need. You just haven't shaped it into the tools you need yet. Here's I'm going to give you 3 simple ways to turn your real world experience into powerful marketing. The first, you could answer real questions publicly. You've answered the same client questions dozens of times. Start answering them in your content. How about this one? Here's what I tell every mom who says she wants portraits but doesn't know what to wear. Share your thoughts, your insights. How about this one? What do I say when someone tells me they're not photogenic? Respond to that question. Start it with the question and then give an answer. How about this one? Let me show you how we choose locations for portraits and why it matters. So you're sharing your philosophy, your intent. You're not making this stuff up. You're already saying it. So use it for marketing purposes. The second one is tell the stories behind the portraits. Start with what you saw, maybe what you felt or what you heard during a session, what the portrait means to that client now. By the way, the shorter and more emotionally honest, the better. Show the transformation, the connection, or the intention behind the portrait. Not something just as simple as loved working with this amazing family. I mean, that's good. But wouldn't you like to have better or best? How about this? They hadn't had a portrait made since their son left for college. They told me afterward it felt like getting time back. That's not just content, that's marketing that moves people. Here's a third one: teach what you know. You may have caught the Portrait Profits episode entitled "Brand Yourself as the Expert." If not, it was a while back. It was in October of 2021. So I recommend that you go back and watch it. It's episode number 34. By the way, today's episode is number 233. So that's 199 episodes ago. That's hard to imagine. Makes me wonder how I remember this particular episode. Okay. Sometimes my memory is pretty good. So if you haven't seen the Brand Yourself as the Expert episode, go back to episode number 34 on October 11th, 2021. This one is teaching what you know is one of the considerations. Teaching what you know is one of the considerations. You need to lead. You need to come across as an expert and the go-to person. Excuse me. It's all about creating posts, emails, or guides based on what you wish your clients knew. How about this title? 3 things that make portrait sessions easier for everyone involved. Or this one: what people misunderstand about printed portraits and why it costs them. How about this one? Why your next portrait should begin with a design process well before the session date. This kind of content doesn't just educate and brand you as the expert, it pre-qualifies. It attracts people who resonate with your approach and repels those who don't, which is exactly what good marketing is supposed to do. And then we need to create a landing page that starts the journey. So don't just post something, give people a place to go from that post. Create a simple landing page or opt-in that invites the right clients into conversation with you. Use your voice, speak to their emotions, and make the next step feel obvious and easy. A headline like, before you book a portrait session, let's design it with purpose. Start with this free design consultation. And of course, you give a link to your calendar. Or, here's what I'd recommend before you book your next portrait session. And then again, you have a call to action that leads directly to a consultation, a free downloadable guide, a scheduling link like Calendly, calendly.com, calendly.com. There is a good way to turn casual interest into actual leads. Your knowledge, experience, and stories make great marketing tools. So let me give you a few action steps. I want you to choose one of the following 3 and put it into action this week. Just choose one. I'm going to give you 3. Just choose one. Here's the first. Write one short post that answers a real client question. The second, share the emotional story behind one portrait that is in your portfolio. Or number 3, create a free guide or checklist that you can share as a lead magnet, and then build a simple landing page with a call to action that leads them to that consultation or that freebie. Are you getting some thoughts and some ideas out of this? Do you have some of your own? Share them in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what's going on here. And if you haven't already, enter in #live, letting me know that you are watching live today. Chapter 5 of 5. Align all messaging to your workspace statements. If your marketing feels like guesswork, or it's inconsistent, unclear, or all over the place, There's a good chance it's because you're creating content in isolation without connecting to the core of your business. The core is your 5 workspace statements. I'll put that up on the screen so you can see that and follow along. The mission, why your work exists. Vision, what future you're building. Values, what principles guide your work. Ideal client, which is also called target market. I just call it ideal client. This is who you serve best. And number 5, compelling description. This is what you do and why it matters in a way that makes people care. Now, you may think these are just frou-frou or extra or some kind of branding exercise. These are alignment tools. They guide everything from what you say in your posts to how you structure your offers to what your client feels when they experience you and your work. When these statements are clear and consistently expressed, your brand feels intentional, feels confident, it feels trustworthy. When they are vague, hidden, or missing, that's when you blend in. You get ignored. That's when you post somewhere or ask someone, ask me, how do I stand out from the crowd? Guys, it's an easy answer. Because no one who's asking that question has done their 5 workspace statements. And if they have, they aren't complete, or you have changed since you wrote them. Either way, they aren't working to your advantage. Let the heart of your business drive how you communicate. Here's how your workspace statements show up in marketing. Your mission shows up when you talk about why your work matters. Your vision shows up when you help people imagine what's possible when they work with you. Your values show up in your tone, your approach, your boundaries. Your ideal client shows up when your message makes one specific person feel seen, understood, valued. Your compelling description shows up when someone reads or hears what you do. So here's an action step. Pick a recent post, or maybe a recent email, or some other marketing content, and compare it against your 5 workspace statements. By the way, if you need help creating your 5 workspace statements, I can help with that, and I can make it super easy for you. Just reach out to me and let me know, jim@portraitprofits.com. So pick something you've done recently. Post a post, an email, some piece of marketing content, and ask, does this reflect my purpose? Does it move someone toward a vision? Are my values present in how I say it? Would my ideal client feel like I'm talking directly to them? And would someone who reads this understand what it is that I actually do and why what I do matters? If the answer is no on any of those, well, good news, because now you know what to fix. you already have the foundation. You're learning how to build everything on top of it with purpose, with alignment, with clarity. Let me share some closing thoughts before I tell you what's coming up. Oh, and you're going to like the shows that are coming up, so don't leave until you've heard those. You've been doing work. You've been showing up, pushing forward, trying everything they say to try. And now you know why it hasn't been working. It's not that you aren't skilled. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you're not trying hard enough. It's that you've been running without alignment, without a system built to support profit, purpose, and sustainability. The profit pivot plan is not about starting from scratch. It's about using what you already know, what you've already built and realigning it with intention. Your passion cannot withstand struggle because it leads to grinding you until you burn out. Lens Legends, your passion exists within you because you've got a unique ability to create something powerful, something lasting, and something that funds the life you actually want. So if you've been feeling stuck, overlooked, underpaid, or just tired, don't let that become your story. Let this lesson be the pivot. You've got the map now. You've got the tools. It's time to move. And if you need help with any of those or other business items, then reach out to me, because this is what I do and I encourage it. And I don't even charge you for the first one. And maybe that's all you need. Some people, that's all they need, just jumper cables to get back on track. It's pretty easy when all you have to do is reach out to me. I'll put that on the screen one more time, assuming I can find it. Well, there it is. Just reach out to me. Now, you may want a photography class. I've got a photo 101 that I can do private class anytime, and many other classes if that's what you want. I use a platform called StreamYard, and StreamYard is telling me that Facebook is having problems right now. It says we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. This may be an issue on Facebook's end. It is possible that your stream has already ended or even deleted on Facebook. We'll keep trying to let you know when it's resolved. So I don't know exactly what that means, but hopefully you guys are seeing me. But I don't know. Well, it looks like there's two of them that have, yep. So one of them just came back on Facebook. I have 3 different places on Facebook where I stream this. So 2 of them have disappeared. And I am trying to click a couple of buttons to bring them back. And I think that might do it. Well, anyway, I'm moving on. And so I also want to encourage you, if you are so inclined to find out more about my career photographer program. This is my flagship program. It's a coaching program. It's got classes. It's got a lot of different things in it. But it's for portrait and event photographers who want to build a highly profitable, low volume business so they can increase time with family, enjoy more free time, increase their income with confidence. And I am writing a new version because so much has changed in the last, post-COVID. So while I'm rewriting, I'm actually giving a huge discount. You're going to be impressed, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to find out on your own. It's a lot. It's a lot. Click that one more time. Now, as you know, the Portrait Profit Show is something that I do every single Monday. So let me tell you about what's coming up. In 1 week from today, I'm bringing someone on to talk about what she does, who she is. And so this one is, and let me put the text on the screen as well. There we go. On August 25th at noon, that is 1 week from today, this is an interview called Resilience, Vision, and the journey of Miracle Brown. That's actually her name. Portrait photographer Miracle Brown's journey is as raw and inspiring as the images she creates. From childhood snapshots on disposable cameras to a moment when one review nearly made her give it all up. Her story is a masterclass in resilience and vision. This Portrait Profits episode isn't just an interview, though. It's a conversation that will challenge and uplift anyone who is chasing their dream. And then 1 week after that is on September 1st. This is going to be part 2 of silent posts that I did a couple of weeks ago. This one's called Getting Seen, social media posts that clients feel. This one is all about designing content that reacts, that builds real connection, the kind your clients feel, that they remember, and that they respond to. On September 8th at 6:30, because on the second Monday of each month, we move it to 6:30 in the evening, and we bring on other people to help talk about a subject. So there'll be a panel discussion on September 8th, 6:30 in the evening. And let's give you one more. September 15th at noon, your income goal as a step-by-step action plan. So you're going to discover how quickly a big income goal can shift from feeling out of reach to feeling like a clear, doable plan that you're excited to act on. We'll take a real number, whatever that goal financial number is that you're after, and turn it into an exact client count, a realistic price point, and a short list of repeatable weekly actions that you can use right away that get you there. This focused step-by-step process plugs directly into the bigger strategies that we've covered before. But here, you get the concentrated version so you can start seeing progress right now. Add these free lessons to your calendar. You're going to forget you've got a million things going on in your life. Every Monday, you get the Portrait Profit Show. 233 episodes, and we haven't charged a dime. And that's thanks to, the time that I put in. It's thanks to Amanda at Digital Pro Lab. It's thanks to you guys clicking share and letting other people know that the Portrait Profit Show exists. I want to thank you for spending time with me today, Lens Legends. This episode was packed and maybe at times even uncomfortable. But uncomfortable? That's what clarity feels like at first. You've got the skill. Now you have the alignment to go with it. When your effort connects to purpose and your systems support your vision, everything starts to shift for the better. So stay focused and build with intention, trusting that the work you're doing now is laying the foundation for the business and, more importantly, the life you actually want. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, I'm Jim Landers, the host of the Portrait Profit Show, where we spark and build thriving businesses. Until next week, Lens Legends, keep creating those powerful emotional connections that change lives, yours and your clients. I believe in you, and I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.